Hi, my name is Rachel and I am Chapel Hill Maker. You can find me under Chapel Hill Maker on Instagram and now here on YouTube. I have been kicking around the idea of doing this for a while and woke up this morning and was like, why not? So here I am. Just to introduce you to me, I am a mom to 4 amazing young women and 2 very cute dogs, and we live here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is holding on very strong to summer right now. Even though it's almost October, it's 76 degrees and pretty humid, so dressing in short sleeves and making the most of my summer knits. So I am a part-time yarn teacher and very diligent Duolingo participant. I have been trying to learn Italian for over 2 years, and while I have a very good streak, I do not have a very good accent. So maybe one day. That's the goal. I plan to just do sort of a standard podcast format, what I'm wearing, what I've finished, what I'm working on, and then if I've acquired any new knitting gadgets lately, which I love a good knitting gadget, so that does happen from time to time. I have been super inspired by so many creators here on YouTube that I figured it was time for me to sort of jump into the party. My very dear friend, Madi, a Colorado knitter, has been podcasting now for quite some time, and I love when she uploads a new video. I feel like I'm visiting with a friend, which I know her IRL, but we live on opposite sides of the country, so we get to catch up and I get to see what she's working on. And so many of the creators that I watch also sort of feel like friends at this point. And while I have an amazing group of people that I knit with here in Chapel Hill, I am always looking to expand the circle and spread the word about how amazing our craft is. So hopefully you'll join me. This may be one of many, this may be one of one. We'll see how it goes. The main reason I decided to jump into this is I'm always getting on my girls for trying something new, doing something that scares them just enough to expand their experience and expand their circles. And I also get on my students a fair amount about just trying a new technique, taking on a pattern that they think maybe they can't handle. And so this is something that has scared me for a long time, and here goes. So first off, what I am wearing is the mini mock neck by Jessie May, and I knit it in Primrose Yarn Co. MCN that is in the color All the Lights, I think it's called. And I bought this on vacation in Park City, Utah at Wasatch & Co. And it was this big hunkin', I want to say 150 gram ball. So I knit the entire thing out of one skein, which was great. And it was a really fun way to use a hand-dyed variegated yarn. I tend to gravitate towards neutrals, but every once in a while, as you'll see, I try to throw a little fun color in there. But as far as finished objects go, moving on, I just finished the Olga Jacket by Petite Knit, and I love this so much. The color is Matcha and Tutti Frutti Natural by Sandnes Garn in Peer Gynt. And here you can see, there we go, I have that and that. And this I was doing as a knit along with Madi from Colorado Knitter. So Madi, this is your call to jump in and we can twin. Full disclosure, I copied her on the matcha green color, so when you see hers, she had it first. This was a really fun make, and it worked up pretty quickly. The only thing I had trouble with was when I got below the sleeve separation, I noticed that the body of it was way too big for me. I chose a size, actually I think I chose one size bigger than I normally do for petite knit patterns. And so I ended up, rather than start all over again, which I would have had to do, I just decreased, I don't know if you can see the decreases, but I just decreased about 12 stitches on the body until I had gotten down to one size less, and it fits really well, and I'm looking forward to it being cool enough to wear here. Maybe a couple weeks in Rhinebeck, it will be cool enough for a New York fall. So moving on to works in progress. The first thing that I am working on is the Poppy Tee by Petite Knit. And this has sort of been a long-term whip for me, but I pull it out when I'm in the car and just need something sort of mindless to work on because I've gotten down to the body and I'm just working in the round. And this is in Cardiff Cashmere, which is just really squishy and yummy, and it's lovely. It's my first time working with it, and I would love to use it again. So I'm looking forward to having this again when it's cooler and maybe for the holidays. I love this shoulder pickup here. It's just such a really pretty detail, and I love that those kind of things, that she includes those in her patterns. It's just those little things that I find make these sort of simple or basic patterns extra special and more fun to wear, and that they fit well. So that is living here in my Matcha Root bag, and I love this thing. We got this at Rhinebeck last year, and the line at their booth was out the door immediately. Everybody made a beeline to the Matcha Root booth. So if you're at Rhinebeck next year, make sure you get there. And yeah, it's great. I can just pick it up and throw it in and have it with me. The next thing that I am working on is the Checkerplate Tee by Lily Kate Makes. And this is in Wool Dreamers Sanoa, which is a cotton merino blend. And it's a 2-ply, and I love the way that it knits up. It has a little bit of a rustic quality to it. And this pattern is definitely more of a thinker. It's not one that I can sort of just pull out when everybody's home and around. And I left it in a really messy state when I finished my last round. But I love how these raglan increases are looking, and I can't wait to separate for sleeves so that I can see really what it's going to look like. But I'm having so much fun with this, and the pattern is just really well written, really well presented, and as long as I can focus long enough to do a few rounds, I am thoroughly enjoying it. And speaking of gadgets, I have this in this Hanson Crafts yarn caddy, which I love using for yarn cakes, and it's super portable. You just, oops, there was a stitch marker on there. Take it with you, and when you're ready to use it, you're ready to go. So this kind of just lives on my counter, and when I have a free minute to sit and focus a little bit on the pattern, I pull it right out. I also just think it looks pretty. And I think I said the color is Ozetta, and again, it's Wool Dreamers Sanoa, and I loved this yarn so much that when Amy Scher was having her summer sale, I picked up another sweater quantity in a different color so that I could make something else with it. So I really loved it. It has a little bit more of a slubby quality than, say, like a Knitting for Olive merino, cotton merino, which I also love, but it's I'm really enjoying it. My next work in progress is this Cinnamon and Bourbon from Thea Coleman, and I really love her patterns. They are well written, they're smart, and just super engaging. So, and I'm doing this in City Tweed, which is a DK yarn from Knit Picks, and it is 55% merino, 25% superfine alpaca, and 20% Donegal tweed. And it's really soft, and I think it'll make for a very cozy, cushy top. And this has worked bottom up, which I get sort of impatient with because I can't really try it on as I go. But I am just loving this texture. So let's see if you can see. It is super engaging to work on. I can do it while I'm watching TV as long as it's not in the dark because it's a dark yarn. And I had downloaded the pattern as soon as it came out last year. I bought the yarn and then I got distracted, which is a theme for me. But I'm really excited to finally be casting it on and working on it and enjoying every round. It's super, super fun. It is patterns like this also that make me happy that I am only 4'10", so the body is always shorter. So I save on yarn. There are a lot of times where being as short as I am is a hindrance, but when it comes to sleeves and bodies, it's fantastic. So the last pattern that I am working on was a total impulse knit. I started actually this morning, and I was completely Knitfluenced by Maddie at Colorado Knitter and the guys over at Needles at the Ready because I saw theirs as well. And that is the Jaunty shawl by Andrea Mowry. It just came out. And I am using Handspun, and this is by Wee Chickadee. And I'm a new spinner, well, not that new, honestly, but just not well practiced. And I have a lot of one single skein projects that I've spun up and then never knit with. So when I saw this, I thought it was a great opportunity. And this is completely out of my comfort zone for colors that I usually work with, which is kind of so fun, more than I expected. So I have a feeling this is going to steal a lot of my attention. But it is funny when I spin, I am super critical of myself as I'm either spinning or plying. It gets thick and thin, as you can see here. But it is actually really helpful now to knit with it because I see that it still creates a really cohesive piece of fabric, and my little slubby areas don't seem to matter quite as much. And doing that makes me want to spin a little bit more, actually. And it is funny, I tend to gravitate towards fibers that are dyed in different colors than I generally knit with, which is funny, but I love seeing as I'm spinning, I love seeing the colors change. And that for me is so much part of the experience. And anytime I'm spinning something that's just natural or all one color, which I tend to knit with, I get sort of, bored's not the right word, but I get less engaged in the process. So I end up pulling out things like this. And so it is kind of fun to do something that is a total departure from anything that I normally work on. And so far I'm enjoying it. And we have a long drive coming up today to the North Carolina mountains. So I'm thinking I'll get a little bit of work done on that. And then those are my most active whips right now. I kind of always have a sock on the go, in the car, in my purse. And real quick, this is just a vanilla sock with a short row heel. I'm using the heel. It's like a, I didn't do a very good job at it, to be honest, but it's a, if you can see the texture there, it's like a, what's it called? A bird's eye short row heel. And it was from a sock pattern that was in one of the more recent knitty magazines. So it was fun to do something a little bit different. I don't know that I'm gonna run to do it again because I had to sort of pay a lot more attention than I do on my socks, and it's nice and squishy, but more often than not, I like to be able to just mindlessly knit away on socks. And so we'll see if I even do it for the second sock. But this is yarn, I honestly can't remember what it is. It's from Ecoview rather, Fiber Mill, which closed a couple years ago. And so I love this sort of copper penny color, but unfortunately they're no longer making yarn. And I have this in a bag from Knitworthy Yarn Co. And Victoria there makes just the cutest project bags. And I love this little guy. I can hang it over my wrist and take it with me, which I tend to do with socks. We go to the Carolina Hurricanes hockey games, which hockey season starts in 2 weeks. Yay! And I knit every game, and I love it. And then my other sock that I have is in a Hohi & Co. box bag, which you can see has been well loved and well used and well traveled. And I have a striped sock from Woolens and Nosh. It's one of last year's fall colorways, and I want to say it has something to do with apple cider, but I honestly can't remember. And so fun. Striped socks are the best. And actually my active sock that I'm working on is in my purse in my car. So maybe next time I'll have 2 finished socks. But these days socks take me a really long time to knit because they just live in the car and come with me when I have a little bit of sitting to do. So maybe now that hockey's starting again, I'll get some more socks finished. But I think that is everything that I have. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me. I have some ideas about what I want to do again in the future, but more often than not, I'm hoping to just sort of share my projects, share my yarn plans, and just catch up and create some knitting community. My goal is to show my students that I'm not perfect, and most of the ways that I'm able to teach them how to improve their projects is because I've made all of the mistakes over the years. I've been knitting for a really long time, and in the future, I'm hoping to be able to share with you some podcasts and books that I'm listening to as I knit, because that also seems to be something that I'm not alone in among knitters. And more often than not, it's a murder podcast or I love a good con man story. So if you have recommendations, put those in the comments below. And I love a good cozy mystery book. If you haven't listened to the Thursday Murder Club series yet, even though they just came out with a movie on Netflix, definitely listen to the books. They are so well narrated and so fun. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me for now from Chapel Hill. And maybe we'll do this again. Hope to see you.